and welcome to a new episode of We Are the World Games. It's only a few months to go until the curtain rises for the 11th edition of the World Games in Birmingham, Alabama. We have a very special guest today. She will produce the opening and the closing ceremony as well as the World Games Plaza. My name is Philip Doing, and I'm very happy to have here with me today Rashada LeRoy from Birmingham. Hi, Rashada.
Hi, Philip. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Ready for July.
So it's less than 4 months to go now until the games begin. You've been working on this project for years. How do you feel? Excited? Nervous?
A little bit of both. There are days I wake up and I'm extremely excited. I can almost turn flips, down my hallway to get to the office. There are days I wake up and I'm extremely nervous because this is a large event, one of the largest that we've produced, one of the largest to come to the city of Birmingham. And then there are days where I'm like, I'm just ready. If it was tomorrow, I would be suited up with the team ready to go. So it's an exciting time. The buzz is building in Birmingham. So we're happy to be here.
Well, that sounds great. And please tell me, when did you join the Birmingham organizing committee?
Yeah, so I often tell people that when we got the call that we had received, we won the bid, it was right before Christmas in 2019. I was headed home. My mom lives near the beach in Pensacola, Florida. So I was literally packed up, headed to see her, and got a call that I was going to do lunch with Nick Sellers, the CEO. And this was around December 22nd of 2019. So he told me we had won the bid. At that time, he also said, and you guys are going to produce the World Games Plaza. So it was a Christmas gift. Exciting because, when you go through a process like this, it's not just turning a proposal and then let's see who wins. There were a number of interviews. There were a number of things that we had to produce so that people knew that we could handle this job. We had to be vetted. The team and I spent a lot of late hours, long nights, just days trying to make sure that we produced the best concept possible. So exciting and a long 2 years, but I think, we're here now. So like you said, 4 months out, it's coming fast, but we're here.
Yeah, well, we should say that it's even been more waiting because of COVID, because the games should have taken place a year ago in 2021 and have been moved to this summer, of course. So, but maybe we'll get to that later. So Please tell us, you will produce the opening ceremonies. Could you say in a few sentences, what can we expect? What will we get to see?
Yeah. So the opening ceremony is really about telling the story of Birmingham. I think when people think of Birmingham, we always think about 1963. We think about what happened here with the civil rights movement. We think about the change that catapulted throughout the world as a result of what happened here. And so, yes, we want to tell that story, but we also want people to understand what Alabama looks like today and what the city of Birmingham looks like today. So we'll be talking about Birmingham's present, its past, and then celebrating Birmingham's future. Understanding that, yes, there are things that are a part of our history that we may or may not want to acknowledge, recognize, definitely don't want to repeat. But we know that those things don't define us, although they have contributed to the city that we are today. So it's just really telling that story, the pride that we have in our city, the movement that our city is experiencing, and just this innovation that's happening throughout the city that the World Games will 100% allow us to continue to carry into anything else that we do here. So that's what the opening ceremony is about, told through the eyes of four diverse girls, paying homage to those 4 beautiful girls who lost their lives in the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing. And then there's so many other exciting things to come from the artists that we'll have performing. Those artists were announced last week, so I think I'm safe to give a couple of names that I think people will be excited about, from Nelly, who's just an awesome hip hop artist, to gospel artist Yolanda Adams, country artist Sarah Evans, the Blind Boys of Alabama, the group Alabama, which is internationally known, and so many more. This music is conducted, composed, arranged by our artistic director, Dr. Henry Pinion. We're going to have some great costumes, our costume designer, Twyla Grider. We're going to have some great scenes from our prop and our scenic designer, Lindell McDonald. And it's just so many more things that I'm excited about that I can't reveal, but I'm excited that they're going to happen in the opening ceremony.
That sounds very interesting. And you mentioned that it deals a lot with the history, with the past of Birmingham. And I read on Wikipedia that Birmingham is experiencing some kind of rebirth, and it has changed a lot. And still, you go back and show these four girls. Was it easy to go along with this concept? Did you encounter any problems, or people say, no, we don't want to see this again? Or how was the process of developing this concept for the ceremony?
Yeah, when we introduced the concept, people were really excited about it. They were really excited to see how we would tell this story of Birmingham, how we would show how resilient the city is, how we would honor those who are our heroes and how courageous they were to stand up during this time when it was, of course, dangerous, right? Many people lost their lives. People lost their livelihoods. And so to be able to make that beautiful, that's what I think people are excited about. When we think about our four girls, these are not depicting the four girls who lost their lives in the bombing. These are just inspired by them. These are four diverse girls in race, culture, background. And what I want people to take away is if those four beautiful girls were alive today, the world that they would see, what would they be proud of? How would they love to be in Birmingham and beyond? And what their lives could have and would have been. And so no pushback. It was all excitement. It was, we can't wait to see how this story is really going to unfold. We can't wait to see how the creative is going to unfold around it to really talk about this new Birmingham. And I think you're right. Like, we're seeing what I consider to be a transformation of this city from our Mayor Randall Woodfin, who's so passionate about this city, its citizens, and the forward movement, to different things that you're seeing happening throughout the entire state of Alabama. And so, yes, the World Games 2022 will be in Birmingham, but we're celebrating Huntsville, Mobile, Tuscaloosa, Montgomery, all of these places that make Alabama beautiful, and definitely making sure that we talk about Birmingham. We want people to come to this city and know it's not just black and white anymore. This is a diverse city. This city is a tech hub. This city is an awesome place for entrepreneurs. It's an amazing place for big businesses to come, corporations. So we want people to see that. And if you want a great place to live, work, and play, I encourage you, come check out Birmingham. Come check us out. And the World Games is probably the best time to do that.
I visited Birmingham once, but I saw not much of the city, only, well, the Congress Center. And a few of the arenas. So what's it like to be living in Birmingham today?
Yeah, man, so many great things about Birmingham today. I'm going to try to make it short as possible. So let's see. One, the people. When we think about Southern hospitality, it's true. I know people from around the world, when I meet people who are not from Alabama, not from the South, even sometimes not from the US, it's this notion of like, do you all really speak to everybody? Yes, right? Like everybody I see, I'm like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? You know, we don't meet strangers here. So I love that about being here in Birmingham. I'm a foodie. And so we have so many great restaurants here by local chefs that when people come in, it's fresh food, it's farm to table food. And so I'm always talking about our restaurant scene. And when you come, here are the places that you must go to. I also love the culture here in this city, as well as throughout the state. And so what a lot of people don't know is we have the most historically Black colleges and universities. And so that lends itself to our culture here. And so I'm always excited when I run into students who are at these schools or alums of these schools and the opportunities that they can get here in Birmingham. I love our art museum. I love our Birmingham Civil Rights Institute. I love the history that's in the city. And it's not just civil rights history. There's Sloss Furnace, which will be depicted in the opening ceremony. That's how Birmingham became the Magic City. And so talking about that industrial revolution and how Birmingham was able to grow. So I think there's so many historical things here that I want people to come and be a part of, but there's also opportunity to make this city your own. If you're looking to move here, you're looking to build a family, you're looking to start a business, there's just so many opportunities here and people who are here to help you every step of the way. So those are probably my highlights around what it's like to live here. And I love it. I mean, I've not lived very many places. I can be honest about that. But compared to the places that I have been, this has by far been the best place for me.
What you just said links nicely to the World Games Plaza. Probably most of our viewers don't know what it is. Could you explain what the World Games Plaza is?
Yeah, so the World Games Plaza is an 11-day fan experience. That's how we describe it. That plaza will be filled with interactive activations. So from many of our sponsors who will be out, welcoming attendees and guests to the city. We have 2 stages at the World Games Plaza, our sound stage, which is where the majority of our programming will happen, as well as showcasing a lot of our local and regional acts and organizations. And then we have our main stage, which is where our headliners will be performing throughout the games. The World Games Plaza will have food trucks. And so we're bringing in different types of food trucks so that people get a real experience. And these food trucks may or may not be from Birmingham or Alabama. So I'm excited that when we talk about the world coming to Birmingham, they get to experience, food and cuisine from our state, our city, but from around the US. So it's going to be an exciting atmosphere. It's going to be free and open to the public. And so we really do consider that like this is going to be the center of the games. So if you're not at a sporting event, we want you to come down to the World Games Plaza. When you leave a sporting event, we want you to come down to the World Games Plaza. And we want you to make that somewhat of your semi-hub during the 2 weeks of the games. The World Games Plaza will be open on opening ceremony as well as on closing ceremony. And so we want people to congregate before as well as a few minutes after. But it's just going to be an exciting place for people to come and really, merchandise you will be able to purchase. If you trade pins, you'll be able to do that there. There's going to be e-gaming. There's going to be a lot of great stuff happening at the World Games Plaza.
And how will you plan your personal World Games? Because I guess you will be very busy, not only before, but also during the games. Do you think you will get to see any sport events at all or not?
I hope so. I want to see, I hope I get to take in some of the softball action. I think everybody I talk to, the number one sport that we all want to see is sumo. So I'm really hoping that I get a chance to get a glimpse at that. And I'm hoping to make as many rounds as I possibly can. So we'll see. We'll see. I have a great team. My co-pilot, who I call him, his name is Sean Humphrey. So he's our director of operations, as well as one of our producers. So he may allow me to step away for a few minutes and check out what's happening throughout the games.
I have a personal question because right behind you there, we can see half of the picture on the wall. Yeah. And that's Angela Davis, civil rights icon. And I heard it's even signed. I couldn't really see it here over the screen.
You may be able to see it. It's like by the neck a little bit. She signed it.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me, what's the story behind this picture in your office with the signature?
Yeah. So Dr. Davis came to Birmingham. I was a part of a group who actually planned an event around her returning back to the city. This committee was called the Committee for Truth and Reconciliation. It was made up of actually some of her childhood friends. And so we got an opportunity to join this organization and produce an event where she came and she was our featured guest speaker. And so there was a one-on-one interview that happened with her. She told us about her life, how she grew up, how she got into activism, the things that were important to her. But most importantly, she talked a lot about how Birmingham really did contribute to her upbringing and why she, fought so hard for human rights and civil rights and equality for people. So I never thought that I would get an opportunity to meet Angela Davis. That's number one, right? Like, she's always been this figure on TV who has just been larger than life to most of us in this community. And so when I did get the opportunity to meet her, we had done these photos that we used at this event. And when we were breaking down, I was like, I wonder if she'll sign this picture. Well, she did more than sign the picture. I actually got an opportunity to meet her at one of her childhood friends' home. For almost 2 hours, we sat, we talked. I had a number of photos on my phone that I found, and she literally gave me the background of each one of those photos. And so it was such an amazing experience to sit with her, to hear about her life. She told me about her family, her parents, her time growing up in Birmingham. And so when she signed the photo, I framed it and I said, I have to put this on a very impactful wall. And so this was the wall that it made it on. And so it is a conversation piece. Like, some people don't recognize her in her younger years. So they'll say, hey, who is that? And then when I say Angela Davis, it's like, okay, how did you get that? So it was amazing to meet her. I learned so much in those 2 hours of conversations, and just a personal hero of mine. I think anybody who fights for equality, who fights for civil and human rights, who believes that all people should be treated equally, regardless of circumstances, backgrounds, I'm here for it. And so she's just one of my personal heroes.
Oh, it's too bad she's probably not too much into sports and won't visit the World Games, I guess. But yeah, she's really a great icon.
She is. So my battery is about to go dead, so I need to plug up. I didn't realize that when we started.
All right, let's take a short break.
Okay, technical difficulties, but I'm back.
Well, as long as this doesn't happen at the opening ceremony, that someone needs to plug something in. All right, I guess we've covered a lot. And my last question would be, when the games are over on July 17, do you know what you will do after? Or is this just like a blank space that you haven't spent a thought on?
No, well, I will probably sleep at least one whole day. I don't know if I could do more than that. But I do think after the games is over with, so what I don't know a lot of people realize is the closing ceremony is on July 17th. We will then begin to break down. And so we will fully move out of Protective Stadium on July 21st. So it is my hope that on July 22nd, I get to sleep in, put my sweats on, lounge around the house. But shortly after, I am going to take a vacation. So I'm still determining where I'm going, but somewhere where the cell phones and the computers won't work.
Yeah, you really should. And I hope you will sleep well on July 22nd after a great 11 days of World Games.
Yes.
So I wish you all the best, and we're looking very much forward to the rising curtain on July 7 in Birmingham, Alabama. Thanks a lot for coming here and talking to us, and see you soon.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Philip. Nice.